VYZULTA, latanoprostene bunod ophthalmic solution, 0.024% is indicated for the reduction of intraocular pressure, IOP, in patients with open-angle glaucoma or ocular hypertension. Please see important safety information at the end of this video.
So we have a lot of information from the phase 3 clinical trials, Apollo, Lunar, that tells us that VYZULTA is efficacious as first-line therapy. We've seen IOP reductions in the greater than 30% range.
One of the reasons I like VYZULTA all along the continuum is the tolerability. As many of you may have read or know, in its pivotal trials, the hyperemia rate was right around 6%, and the dropout rate was less than 1% in patients participating in the trial. And my clinical experience mirrors that. It's been a very well-tolerated drop, and that gives me reassurance when I start the drop. The Jupiter study was a very interesting study. It was designed somewhat differently than typical trials for the United States. It was an open-label study that was carried on for a year. It looked at a variety of endpoints, both safety as well as efficacy. And in a nutshell, what that study brings to me is the ability of VYZULTA to lower the intraocular pressure from relatively low starting pressures.
Another group of patients that I've found have been able to benefit from VYZULTA are patients with lower baseline intraocular pressures, often normal pressure glaucoma patients. In the United States, about half of our glaucoma patients have these low baseline pressures. In the phase 3 Jupiter study, VYZULTA was shown to bring pressures from a baseline of 19.6 down to 14.4. This is a robust treatment effect that was observed out to 52 weeks. And it's really important because we don't want to have to worry about tachyphylaxis. We know that glaucoma is a long-term disease, and we want a drug that we know can drive pressures into that low range and keep them there for the long run.
In the Voyager study, it looked at the different concentrations of the drug of latanoprostene bunod to really optimize its concentration, but it also compared it to latanoprost, the branded form, Xalatan. And one of the things that was really interesting in this study from my perspective, we got 9 millimeters of IOP lowering with VYZULTA compared to 7.8 millimeters of IOP lowering with Xalatan. But additionally, approximately a third of the patients got an additional 2 or 3 points of IOP lowering with VYZULTA when compared to latanoprost.
VYZULTA, latanoprostene bunod ophthalmic solution, 0.024% is indicated for the reduction of intraocular pressure, IOP, in patients with open-angle glaucoma or ocular hypertension. Important safety information. Increased pigmentation of the iris and periorbital tissue, eyelid, can occur. Iris pigmentation is likely to be permanent. Gradual changes to eyelashes, including increased length, increased thickness, and number of eyelashes, may occur. These changes are usually reversible upon treatment discontinuation. Use with caution in patients with a history of intraocular inflammation, iritis, uveitis. VYZULTA should generally not be used in patients with active intraocular inflammation. Macular edema, including cystoid macular edema, has been reported during treatment with prostaglandin analogs. Use with caution in aphakic patients, in pseudophakic patients with a torn posterior lens capsule, or in patients with known risk factors for macular edema. There have been reports of bacterial keratitis associated with the number of multiple dose containers of topical ophthalmic products that were inadvertently contaminated by patients. Contact lenses should be removed prior to the administration of VYZULTA and may be reinserted 15 minutes after administration. Most common ocular adverse reactions with incidence of greater than or equal to 2% are conjunctival hyperemia, 6%, eye irritation 4%, eye pain 3%, and installation site pain 2%. Please see full prescribing information at VYZULTA.com.